Hello, everyone, and welcome back to FPR100. We are here to see a potential title decided today at Imola. Leading the championship at the moment is Hilly, and we've got a few special guests joining us today for a little bit of a pre-race interview. Say hello, lads.
Woohoo! Hello.
Hello there.
There you go, Butch. We're going to start, obviously, with the championship leader, Hilly. You go into this race for the chance to take the title. How are you feeling at the moment? You know,
I feel great, but similar. It's just one of my most hated tracks, so I'm not expecting to do anything tonight. To be quite honest, just finishing will be great.
uh, in terms of expected potential finish area, where would you be happy with then in terms of today?
I, it's a looking through the grid. It's a pretty quick grid. So if I can make a top 10, I'd be over the moon. Quite honestly. Um, but I guess ultimately it all depends on the others in the championship. If I were somewhere near them, then that would be absolutely fine. So
And obviously today you find yourself in a Haas. How is that car feeling compared to your usual options that you've had throughout the rest of this season?
it didn't feel any different in practice to what the Alpine does. Quite honestly, I don't know what the pace was like. Obviously, I've not driven this track in an Alpine to know what I'd be like in pace, but and I didn't do any quali laps. I just did race runs. But yeah, it felt all right. There's nothing wrong with the car. It seems to be, it goes in the right direction when I steer it the right way. So if it goes off track, it's me, not the car.
Fair enough. And moving to Robbo, you're currently sat P2 in the championship. If Haley, I believe, outscores you by 22 points, you lose out. But you find yourself in a McLaren and in practice looking pretty strong on the pace.
Yeah, it felt nice. It's just, yeah, Imola just throws up all sorts on it, weather and track limits. I imagine I come into it. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope no one DNFs, no one gets into any incidents. There's no lag. It just all plays out nice and smoothly because that's the last thing you want it decided on is someone else's mistake or the game's mistake.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, we've definitely not had our fair share of drama throughout this. I think I remember a certain first race. I think a certain group of people all crashed together on the very last lap. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll gloss over that. That was quite funny. That. Moving on, spread. You're somehow still within a shot, a very outside chance. Because if you get outscored by 4 points, you'll be out. But you have a chance to maintain that battle going all the way to the very last race. How are you feeling?
Uh, What I can the other really don't really look at the title fight. Just like I said, it's an outside chance. Just gotta focus on one race.
And today you find yourself in the Alpine, and how is that car feeling compared to like the normal Hasses that you usually end up in?
Oh, do you know what? Like I said, they do feel on the rails. It feels nice out on the rails. So I can't fault it. It's not a track that I'm especially quick at, but it's not one that I dislike either. So it'd be interesting for to see where I can get. I'm going to try and keep it within the top five if I can.
Absolutely really stuff. And one last one, personally for me, obviously, first season. How do you all think it has gone? We'll start with Hilly.
I think it's been superb. I was hoping you were going to ask this because I think, quite honestly, I mean, I've got to say it. That Robbo's done an incredible job in this league, and because all people know how difficult it can be, and it's yeah, he's done an incredible job. I've loved racing every single race. Um, yeah, so definitely a highlight of my season was winning in Mexico when I actually finished. I think it was P6, and everybody had penalties ahead. But yeah, but no, as a league, it's just been fantastic. The racing's been great. I've loved every minute of racing this, and I look forward to every week. So
And spread, what's your opinion?
I think it's gone well for the first season, considering it was sort of like a trial and error start to the season. And once you get used to the drivers that turn up consistently, you know where people are like based in pace and things like that. But obviously, the start it was a bit of trial and error, but I think we got off to a good start with it, and yeah, it sort of snowballed through, and we've had some really, really good races with some really tight battling between 5, 6 cars, if not more. In a couple of tracks where we had like 17 cars within a second. So yeah, I think it's gone better than I expected.
And lastly, the man, the myth, the legend, Rob, the very person responsible for all of this.
Oh, mate, I'm beaming. Thank you for them kind words. I've always wanted to run the 100% leagues. I love. I think you look at the results. I haven't won a single race, and yet somehow I'm in a championship battle because I've just turned up every week, just kept my nose clean, and I just love the 100% races. I love everything about it. So I'm glad it's gone well, and I'm just buzzing for next season. Well, the last two races first of all. Obviously, we've got tonight and the next week, but yeah, I just look forward to taking it to the next step. And just quickly, Fuse, massive thank you to you, Spread, Clem, Hilly, Davies, Schmidty, Jack, anyone else I've missed off. Then sorry, but yeah, it's been amazing. Why do I feel emotional?
Oh,
Don't
thought
you'll
you
get
were
me
gonna
going, and I've got an entire race to go through. Yeah, and no, don't go that far yet.
you make up a run. Don't do it.
I
Absolutely.
blame on being tired.
Well, like I said, thank you all very much for the opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to do the commentating over the most of the entire season one, even though fortunately I'm not going to be here for next week. You can learn more about details on that at the end of today's race. So, you three gentlemen, the very best of luck. Try not to crash. That might go very poorly for you there. Thank you all for joining me.
Thank you,
Cheers,
Fuse, and like Robert
Cheers,
said,
Fuse.
thank you very much for doing the season. You've been brilliant, mate.
Thank you.
See you soon. Good luck for you. Enjoy comms.
Bye. Righty-o, a rather different opening. Try not to get emotional now. Very much a different type of opening out, like I say. This is my last stream for this season, but I am definitely coming back for next season. Don't worry, there'll be more of me. I'm not going anywhere just yet. But we are here, and yes, of course, bots, I will need the weather report. Like I say, we are here for Imola round 16 out of 17. As I said, the title could be decided here today if Healy outscores Robbo by 22 points and outscores a Master Spread by 4 points. He will become the first FPR100 champion for the first season. But he has got a lot of work to do and a long race ahead of him. We are going to be around this lovely historic track, whole 19 corners, where the weather can very much play a huge important factor, and a rather deciding factor in some cases, especially with Hamilton, where he had his off-track excursion against Max Verstappen back in, I believe, 2021. Going forward on to the current state of the championship, where, like I say, Hilly sits at the top. He's got a lot of work to do. Some 14 points behind is Robbo, like I say, well within the title fight without a race win to his name. We've currently got 7 different race winners as to Spread last time winning in Japan. I wonder if he can make it 8. Will he be able to get the maximum amount of points to really bring the fight towards Hilly right all the way to the very end of the season? Phantom Dragon is becoming pretty darn good right at the end, and unfortunately I think couple of errors, couple of issues in races, couple of disconnections, it has affected his chances, and again could have been another person along with Spriggs and Kamarov, all very close, and there's other positions up for grabs all around the drivers' standings. Keep up to date with that all the way through whoever does the last stream of the season. We're going to head now towards the current track as we are getting into the lobby and awaiting the very start of the qualifying session. Quick reminder, it is short qualifying session, 18 minutes, single qualifying session to set the grid for the 100% race. All these cars in realistic performance, hence the talking of the cars that these guys, the top 3, will be in. Who has the most fastest laps? I will get back to you on that one because I actually don't know off the top of my head. You might be a shout because you've done a lot of pitting at the end of races, so you might be within a shout of that one. Anyway, like I say, every position is up for grabs for a point if you finish the race. Slight chance of rain throughout, looking dry, says Bolts. Thank you very much, Bolts the weatherman. Confirmation we have almost a full grid. The only driver we are waiting for is Mr. Clem, Pierre from Clem, who's potentially going to join us during qualifying. If not, he may just miss it, stuck in traffic. Hopefully he can get through to us. And max 36% chance of rain 45 minutes into the race. Ooh. So there's a chance then, there's a chance. A whole year of faith. It could just be a very overcasty moment which will cool down the track massively. But first person then to be out on the track is Kamarov in the AlphaTauri. Like I say, one person who is just unfortunately out of this championship fight. But again, if this was like Robbo was saying, Spread was saying even, it was at the very start, just it's sort of like an experiment, and it worked out very well for remember back to Bahrain, the very first race, just seeing a whole train of 17 cars within DRS range of each other from the very first lap until the first round of pit stops. That was something, and then the end of that, with the leaders all clashed on the very final lap. That is again another thing we will definitely not forget. So that was about when it wasn't streamed for the PC. So unfortunately that was one that won't be going up for full replays. Those that are in the Discord for FPR100 will know that they are slowly getting uploaded to YouTube. No cursing, absolutely not. No commentator's curse, don't worry. Anyway, the first flying lap then of Imola. Round 16, here comes Kamarov then, flying towards Tamburello. You're gonna see a Yorkshireman pronounce Italian words, it's gonna really backfire. He's navigated that well now, it's just the chicane turn 5 and 6 on Blanc towards turn 7. The heavy braking zone into second gear, making sure you get that extra rotation. And then we fly into, to believe is turn 10 and 11, as that little kink counts as a turn for some reason. In fact, every little kink in here counts as a turn, which will forever throw me off, but here we go. Acrimonial, whatever you call it. Now into this chicane. He's done that quite well, a quite easy one to invalidate upon the cutting too much on the inside curb. Just got the final couple of corners here to go then. Can you keep it within the white lines? You can very much truly do that even in an AlphaTauri that is rather much a boat, as one Yuki Tsunoda has proven several times, and it's immediately into the 1:15.1. Next across the line is going to be Shrek, who is right on hot on the heels of Kamarov. Not much separating them two at the moment. Theo with the validation on the first ones to do so. We've got Dystopian out in the Mercedes. That could be a pretty strong day for him. A couple of shuffles in terms of cars, like I say. Spread no longer usually in his Haas. He's now up into the Alpine. We've got Robbo up in the McLaren for the first time. And we see Hilly in the in the Haas, and I said Alfa Romeo in the Haas there. And Bolt's returning back to the Ferrari, which is definitely no, don't say anything, don't say anything, don't think it, don't say anything. We're good, we're not cursing, we're fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Continuing on then for the rest of the session, most of the drivers now starting to get their first laps on the board. Schmidty sat in 7th, the slowest of the time so far. Davies, the 16.1, considering his practice pace, not exactly the most representative first lap, but maybe just warming up slightly. Corey, 16.0. Spriggs into the 15s and Dystopin with a 15.3. Here is championship leader Hilly then, in the house, doing his first flying lap of the session as he goes into the second chicane here. He's got a different car, different feel, and at the moment it looks like it's going to be more sort of a damage limitations type of race for Hilly here, not like in the track, and well, aiming to just really survive. But anything can happen. You never know. You absolutely never know. For any of you that saw the Thursday race for FGR, you can see how much script was developed in that one, where the top 2 in the standings of that league had a moment on the very first lap that saw right down the order. So, like I say, anything can happen here in the routes of league racing in Formula 1. It's a 15.8 for Hilly. Slots himself up into P6 as Phantom Dragon goes next across the line instead of 15.6 as he goes 4th place in the hunt to get towards the top. We've got the next couple of cars now preparing for flying laps. One of them is, I think, Bolts is not. Bolts has already done a lap actually. What am I saying? So we'll stay with Theo as Jesus is coming out on track. Curse is actually flying around the track as well, having to cut through some traffic. As here we go then. Theo preparing to go as he's let everything on, going into the last couple of corners here. He's good, decent exits, it's a long straight, and he does so indeed. DRS, the only and single DRS zone, and a very long one indeed, overtaking, definitely probable, going in towards turn 2 even. As King apparently comes to turn 1. Who would have thunk it? Cooking through into the next chicane then. Everything looking controlled for the Ferrari driver Theo. One of the newer full-time drivers to join. FPR100. And I hope you're all fans of the new logo. Bolts complaining about tyre degradation as wide goes Theo to invalidate through Aqua Minerale there. THC navigating traffic as he makes his way down towards the last couple of corners. Traffic not in the idealist of places, but out of the way nevertheless. As they continue on towards the line. Where's THC going to put the Alpine here? 15.8 goes into 9th place, slotting just behind Hilly at the moment. A lot of people in the 115s, to be fair, looking at the practice session beforehand, to be expected really. 115s is, we'll see most of the field really. And we'll definitely see some 114s here from even the likes of Master Spread sitting 3rd. He's got a lot more of work to do. He needs to, if he really wants to have a go at a outside title shot, he needs to go for the win. But he is out there, he wants to enjoy the race, which is more than good enough. And to be fair, him enjoying the races, well, you can see it's definitely had improvements with a win and the fastest lap at Japan. Taking top points indeed, which is helping keep within this battle for the title. Here comes Spread going through Aqua Minerale now and towards this last bit of... didn't you get FL? I think Spread got it in the end, I think. He did say he got 36 points, I believe, on the thing. I'll have to double check that, I don't know. I've slept since then, mate, to be fair. Ooh, Sniper Monkey, the first one to get into the 114s. I think it's the nature of Japan, like, the tyres are pretty bulletproof, fairness of pace. And the Spread was absolutely on it in fairness to him. He had a great race last time out. He goes 4 fastest to 15.2. A couple of tenths off where he was in the practice lobby, so expect quicker times from him still. We've got Davies coming back around and Spriggs, who's down in P13 at the moment. Just want to say we are well and truly looking pretty good here. We've got a second separating pretty much P1 all the way down to P14. You don't see that happen very often. That's just more courtesy as to, you know, how good the admin team is here and how good they are at getting these car allocations spot on. And like they say, it is not an easy thing. Franz Piper, thank you for the follow. As taking some avoiding action there is Spriggs, whilst the Red Bull Franz Piper actually comes through here. Currently sat on a 57.5. We all know that's not the representative. He can go quicker here. There you go. Is Franz going to put it within the mix? Is he going to get into the 16s? Is he going to get into the 15s? Speaking into the 15s, Schmitty on a 59 gets himself ahead of Spriggs momentarily. Jesus, when it was on route up, has gone back in the pits. I reckon he might have invalidated at some point during the lap. Franz across the line. It's a 16.5. The only driver to be a little bit off the pack. Everyone else is sort of there, even if they're in the 16s, like Corey. You know, everyone is there. Theo, then, he's going to be another next person to cross the line to set the first lap of their session. 6 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock to set the grid here for Imola. It's not exactly an easy race, Imola. A lot of invalidations can creep. Obviously, a lot of penalties can come with that for off-track excursions. As round the final corner, it goes that little bit wide and has to bail into the pits. It's now down to Joji, the other of the new members to the FPR100 drivers. There, Haley, hello, welcome to the chat. So, coming across the line then, the other Haas, it's Joji goes 6th fastest, another person into the 15.2s. There's about 3 people there in 15.2s. Very, very close out there indeed. Corey comes back out. 5 minutes 15 seconds on the clock. Has enough fuel, potentially do a couple of runs. But tyres aren't lasting very long, which is to be expected. The softest range of Pirelli tyres brought today. So expect very high tyre degradation. I'm not even gonna retry attempt that word, because that was just not gonna happen whatsoever. It really was not gonna happen. Oh dear. Not good. Not good at all. We'll avoid saying that one. Here we go then. On board with the Mercedes of Corey, can he get himself right up within the mix? And to be honest with you, any amount of time gained here is good to give you some positions, because the field is just that close. Come on, can we get everyone within 1 second? If we get everyone within 1 second, that would be amazing. That'll be scenes. This really sets the tables to be a very entertaining, or potential chance for a very entertaining Grand Prix. But time is ticking. 4 minutes left. We'll start seeing drivers start coming out for the final runs. THC improves and he goes 8th fastest on a 15.3. That seems so mad to me to say that. People in 15.3 is only going 8th fastest. normally that'll be, you'd be looking much further up there. In my eyes at least, because definitely don't have that type of pace in me anymore. There we go then. Through the final corner then for Corey. Where is he going to put that Mercedes? Powering now towards the line. It's an improvement and he goes 12 fastest and a 15.6. We've got nearly everyone in the 115. Spriggs at a 115.9 finds himself down in 16th place. I think that might be the lowest I'll ever see Spriggs on the grid. But he's still in the pits, he's still got time. 3 minutes left on the clock. We've still got 2 drivers yet to set lap times. We've been struggling with the track limits, and they've not left themselves a lot of time to get one in. Here is Theo in the Ferrari. The top 3 are out on track. Hilly sits in 14th. Here we're looking to get further up the order if he wants to help minimise point loss or even get some points gained. Here we go then. We've seen plenty of validations through the chicane, and that's Jesus getting that out of the way with the Aston Martin there. Continuing on all the way down towards the final couple of corners here. Has to make sure he doesn't go wide through this final corner, which he has done before. He's managed to keep it in track limits. Where's he going to go then as he comes across the line? He goes fastest! He does 1 lap and it's fast. Both the Ferraris jumping right up the order. Bolts in P3 with a 14.9. Theo taking the fastest time by 1,000th over the Sniper Monkey. Corey, he retires into the pits. That's his session done with. We've got everyone out there. The track is extremely busy. We've got a huge trio of cars all close together in the first and second sector even. In fact, that's nearly coming even more cars. But they've got to be careful as in comes Jesus. He's going to have to navigate all this traffic. He gets way through the couple of cars there. There's more and more going round. Everyone's starting their final flying laps. It's about who doesn't get the invalidation. That's, oh no, we spoke too soon. Jesus invalidates. Curse now goes quickest on a 14.8. Davey's flying up there. Got a 10th improvement, nearly 2 tenths. Nearly goes too wide though, but he's just managed to keep that going. But sits down now to P4. The Ferraris have done a fantastic job there, which is something you don't see very often. Keep an eye out where everyone else improves up to. It could get very leery as a back end moment and an invalidation for Davies. It's gone wrong. We switch over to championship leader Hilly. Finds himself down in P15. He's up by nearly 2 tenths. We'll need to find a bit more time as that is not a lot of positions. Here we go. Got a couple of corners here to navigate to try and find himself as much time as possible. Jesus being very well played and keeping it well and truly within the track limits. He's got the DRS, a little bit of power, and it is a 15.5. He's in 13th, championship leader, looking pretty much struggled at the moment. Here's Robbo in the McLaren. What can he do? Checkered flag is now out. Shrek goes into P5. Davies finishes P12, THC finishing P11. Theo is going to end the session P2 at the moment. Curse sitting at the top of the table into the pits for Sniper Monkey. That's him out of the shot for pole. Still could be the game. Dystopian out of nowhere takes the top spot of 14.7. It's still anyone's game. Another person with a huge improvement. It's spread into P3 on a 14.9. Can Robbo take this all the way to the top? 2 more corners to go. Keep it within the track limit cellar and power it down towards the line. Where's he going to go? Doesn't quite make the improvement. 10th down, staying in 10th place. Can Camrob do anything? No, he's not improving. Schmitty on invalidation. France going to be improved. Does improve. Stays 18th. Jesus has got one chance. He's somehow managed to keep it going, but it's only for 18th place, and that is Dystopian, I believe, for the first time taking pole position in this league. What a lap and what a finish. Absolutely could have been anyone's game for pole right at the end. Hugely close. Cannot believe how close that is. They are, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 people on the 14.9. Absolute scenes. Absolute scenes there. Congratulations, though, to this man, Dystopian, taking pole position here at Imola. That is a good one, and advantage to spread. He sits P3, Robbo down in 10th, Hilly all the way down in 15th. Hilly has got a lot of work to do. And don't forget, people, 5-minute break. Just look at that. Look at how close that qualifying session is. You don't see it often. That was nearly all bar 3 people within 1 second of pole. All bar 3. And they're not even too far off. Everyone is right up there within each other. The only person a little bit behind, and that's Franz Piper, and that is not by much. Top 3 then, Dystopian, Curse, and Master Spread. 5 tenths, less than 5 tenths separates top bloody 12. What a close qualifier session. This could be a very exciting Grand Prix. Everyone is so similar on pace, as we'll hope to get Shrek back in the session. Let's prioritise that one. That's the race director. That's not exactly what we need to look at. Way out. Good job, mate. Let's see if we can. Let's play the game of Find Shrek. There he is. Whew, that was close. That was very close. So, back to the question of who has the most fastest laps in the standings. Well, we're going to have a quick look then in the background. Whilst we await. Let's see. So there's 3 for Bolts. I think that might be the most. Looking elsewhere and whatwhere, but I think that might be it. A lot of people with 2. Yeah, no. Bolts has the most on 3 fastest laps. And your nearest is Corey with 2. And Axel with 2. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Let's see if you can hold on to that one, Bolts. You know, it is technically a record. It's a pretty good record to have as well. It's not easy. Shrek need another invite. Let's see if we can give him another one. We're really just in the depths of the gods of Codemasters and just praying that we do not have any issues, because this is exciting stuff here. CF Cal, thank you for the follow. And welcome. Rightio then, we will have a look then at the starting order for today's race. Dystopian, fantastic final 5 lap season, take pole position for the first time in this league. Curse lines up alongside him in P2, and then we've got Spread, the first of the three that are within this championship battle, and the one who needs to gain the most amount of points he possibly can on the Hilly, starting P3. Theo in P4. Sniper Monkey started 5th for the Alpha Male. Bolts in 6th. Another good performance from Bolts. Shrek in 7th. Kamarov in 8th. Phantom Dragon down in 9th. Robbo, the other driver involved in the championship battle, starting 10th. Joji in P11th. THC in 12th. Davies 13th. Spriggs down in 14th. Hilly, championship leader, starting 15th in this race. A lot of work to do from there. Corey 16th, Schmidty 17th, Jesus in 18th, and at the back of the grid is very own Franz Piper. Overcast is probably the worst of the weather, so it looks like it's going to be a dry race all the way through, and to be fair, that might be a blessing in disguise in reality. Let us wait then, as we can see the heads of some very enthusiastic crowd members there. Oh, actually, there is a really enthusiastic guy. Look, you can see him just with the red sleeves. He's proper going for it there. And there's some other people, clapping that out on cars that are literally sat on the grid. And marshals there doing literally nothing. Some of them look completely disinterested. Like, why there? Why are you there? Bolt saying he's going to try the Bolt special and hope it pays off. Hope it pays off indeed. Like I say, you're well and truly due for a great result. Here we go then. The formation lap is underway for the first chance at a title deciding race. But at the current rate, it looks like it will probably more than likely go to the very end of the season. But we've still got 63 laps to decide that fate, as we are away on the formation lap now. Let's have a quick look then at the tyre starting options for the drivers. And we've got a bit of a mix going on. It is Curse, Bolts, Hilly and Corey is going for the hard compound tyres off the start. THC and Jesus going for the softs, going aggressive early on. And it's mediums for the rest of the drivers. Quick thing about the tyres, obviously, it is Pirelli's softest range of tyres. Meaning that the tyre deg will be very high, but grip will... So the speed of them at the very start will be unbelievable. But they will not last very long throughout the race, expecting 2 stops all the way through, depending, no matter what strategy really. Hard runners will probably struggle a little bit off the line at the start here, but will they hold off from the rest of the medium runners, or will they even gain? Potentially, the two people starting on the soft THC and Jesus, they'll be looking to gain as many positions as they can, as those tyres on the heavy fuel load will not be very nice for long. They will die off pretty quick. As the drivers now start to come around the final couple of corners here and make their way to try and line up on the grid. We'll start seeing some of them do burnouts to make sure their rears are nice and hot and try and put the rubber down on the grid. As you see, a lot of burnouts at the start just for the drivers putting down the rubber. Good luck to all the people out there today. Let's hope it's a good one. And stay tuned, because this truly could be exciting. Not the best of camera angle, as I say. It's going to be pretty hard to see people's stats. Curse getting a little bit wrong on the parking there. A little bit wayward. Oh, there's a few people getting a bit wayward on the parking. Oh, there's another one. Rightio then, here we go, we wait for the start lights then. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go at the background there. You can see Jesus getting a fantastic start on them soft tyres as please change camera angles already. Through goes the rest of them now towards turn 1. Dystopians look like he's going to be able to hold off into P2. Here comes Spread, trying it round the outside of Curse. He's got through. We've got a car around the back there. It looks like it's Shrek involved in an instant. And another Ferrari of Tio as well. It looks like they've gone down the order, but it's Shrek who's had a massive off down into turn 3. And it's huge front... Is that front wing damage? It almost looked like it was front wing damage there. No, I think that's fine there. Further down the background of the field, let's have a look at Robbo's progress. He's up to P9 currently and under a bit of pressure from the Ferrari behind as he's had a pretty poor start there, has Tio, but a good start from the likes of Bolts on them hard tyres, looking to get away pretty well and making some ground as well. But it's a perfect start really almost for Spread. He's up into P2 and immediately trying to pull away from Curse on them hard tyres. Further down the order, Jesus is making moves on the championship leader. Hilly for P15 as we look at the back of Theo as we go towards the final couple of corners. It's a pretty alright getaway for most of these guys, but like I say, Shrek involved in an instant and sent him down to the back of the grid. Will he need to go into the pits? No one else has at the moment, as Dystopian leads them all over at the end of lap 1. Couple of position changes up and down the orders as Robbo's managed to make one up. Shrek does go into the pits and he has sped into the pits as well. So he's got a long way to go. No, never give up as I say. Is any very long race, high chances of safety car. Looks like the two AlphaTauris are going to swap places there as they go round turn 7. Thank you AWS for that pointless graphic. I really needed to see that. They're both going to keep fighting as they go to the next set of corners. It's very hard to tell who's on the inside and who isn't. But it's Kamarov who's going to get past around the outside as Phantom Dragon tried something down the inside. Through Acro Minerali we go. They're all concertinaing up a bit. In the meantime, the top 4 have sort of pulled away from this haggle of cars. They're all getting caught behind Bolts, who's on them hard tyres. Theo picking up a 3-second time penalty already. It's not what you want to be doing this early on in the race. And that's Davies making move on Theo for good measure as well. So both of the McLarens sat in P9, P10 at the moment, making their way slowly through the grid. Spread, fastest lap. Nope, it's Sniper Monkey, fastest lap. And Tubbock is also going to be passing Curse on that huge straight. DRS will now be enabled after this lap, as that's Tio and Davies and THC all getting involved as they go into turn 1. They're side by side. THC is just going to have to take a little bit of avoiding action there and compromises his exit out of turn 4, and now he's under pressure from Jesus behind as he tries to have a look into the next chicane, but it hasn't quite worked out just yet. They go into turn 7 now, and THC is just going to hold off P12 at the moment, but to now, big tank sapper on the back end. Jesus now goes up through another place as Spriggs tried to look and find a way through, but he hasn't quite done it just yet. Meanwhile, Hilly finds himself down in 16th place. It's disastrous at the moment, but he's on them hard tyres. He'll be going that much longer on this Grand Prix with the alternate strategy than most other drivers, in fact than his other 2 title competitors. Here's Joji here on board with the other house, currently set at P7. He's had a pretty decent start to this race. Finds himself in an AlphaTauri sandwich, stuck behind a very slow moving Bolt, so he's now going to be under a bit of pressure with the DRS and ERS systems being used all the way down this huge straight. He's pretty much left vulnerable, as in the meantime Spread has taken the lead of the Grand Prix. Dystopian loses out and lost a fair bit of time in the process as well. This is absolute dreamland here for Master Spread. If he can keep this up, he very well could be finding himself within a great chance just from the outshots. Hilly and Schmitty having a bit of a battle. Hilly really struggling with pace out there. He's not having a good time round this track. In the meantime, Camera finds his way finally past Bolts. Is slowly moving on them hards. Like I said, them hard tyres looking the slower of the lot of them at the moment. The soft's still going fairly strong for the likes of Jesus and THC, especially Jesus. He's making his way right up through the field. Sort of like a Jesus special. Goes from the back, comes all the way to the top. That sounded better in my head than it did saying out loud, not gonna lie that. We'll gloss over that one. Moving on, here comes Joji, trying to close on the back of Bolts here, but Bolts is, well, he's bolted, and meanwhile the Stilpin has retaken the lead here, but he's gone a bit wide and it's allowed Spread to go right round the outside. The Stilpin's actually going to be under pressure from Sniper Monkey behind as they go into the second chicane now. Through goes Sniper Monkey. The Stilpin loses 2 places there as he tried to retake the lead of the race. And down the inside for a moment we thought there, Curse is now looking to take advantage, and he's on the hard tyres. His tyres seem to have fired up a lot quicker than some of the others, like the Ferrari of Bolts and Hilly and Corey down in 15th and 16th. And backed off though for now, Curse, as he makes a little bit of a mistake before Acqua Minerale there. And we continue on. Spread leads from Sniper Monkey. Then we've got the Stilpian in third, who's almost dropped out of DRS range there momentarily. I think he had a pretty poor chicane as he's lost a lot of time. In fact, as he managed to stay within the DRS just, only just, that could have been curtains there for the Stilpian. In fact, he's still going to be under a great deal of pressure as here comes Curse. He's gaining quite a lot. He pulls out. He's having to go the long way round the outside into turn 2. They're side by side, give each other just enough room. There's a little bit of contact, but they've just managed to skip through. These two fighting very hard, and doing so, they're losing a lot of time. Great stuff there, and fair play to the both of them. They gave each other just enough room to squeeze by without falling off the track, but that has cost them a lot of time. And arriving on scene, we can see Kamarov, Bolts and Joji appear in the background. Meanwhile, Robbo slowly approaching this battle as well, bringing Phantom Dragon for good measure. He's up into P8 at the moment, making good progress as Hilly has fallen down to P17. His hards are really not doing well compared to some of the other drivers out there. And now Dystopin has been passed by Curse. And Curse will need to get that move done probably on the straight, as he's now going to be under pressure, especially without any DRS for protection. Here we go then, on board with the Mercedes as we go down the start finish straight, then DRS wide open. And they head towards the first chicane of Tamburella. And through goes Dystopian. And he is up back into the top 3, into the podium places. In the background you can see it's Curse. He's gone a bit out of shape in the first chicane, and it's immediately allowed the camera to take full advantage of that and go up into P4. You realise just how close they are getting. All in that DRS, because it's just so powerful, such a long straight as well. So one thing that we will try and keep an eye on is we'll have a look at the points situation. We've got the point system up on the other screen, keeping an eye on just how bad the situation falls out to be, but we are only on lap 7 at 6.3. That's Schmidty with a time penalty, and Schmidty has gone round. Schmidty has gone round in the exit of Acqua Minerale and finds himself down in P18. In the meantime, Shrek still slowly closing in. He went onto the soft tyres, by the way, the only person to a pit after an early incident on lap 1. Don't know quite what happened, but we have a lead change yet again as Sniper Monkey goes through into P1 ahead of Spread, utilising again that massive powerful DRS. 2 seconds is the gap between Dystopian and Spread at the moment. It's sort of hovering around there as he's in a bit of a situation where he's stuck looking in his mirrors. He's got a lot of cars coming on him very fast. Again, sounded better in my head. Yeah, you don't forget about it, don't matter. Here's Spriggs then. Davies has also some reason got his own little train going on here for P10. A battle involving Spriggs, Theo, Jesus and THC. The bottom of the two are on the soft tyres. I reckon they're probably starting to feel a little bit of pain. But as long as they can keep within the groove, they'll stay, with everyone. There's, consistency is definitely going to be the key here. Even if your tyres start wearing out a bit, it's not going to be how you can keep it on track, how you can keep it consistent to the racing line. Continuing on then, as we head to the last couple of corners here. It looks like Davies could be at great risk here, depending on the exit of Spriggs. He didn't get the best of exit, but we'll look to see. We have another change for the lead then with the DRS. I think we'll be seeing that happen quite a lot of times as through goes Spriggs on Davies. Spriggs enters the top 10, and in the background you just saw Jesus pull out to have a look at TL, but couldn't quite do anything. He's had a great run though through the first chicane there, and again he's just looking, not quite getting close enough to think about any diving action. They go into turn 7, and they're just going to reconcentrate up and utilise the DRS once again. Further up the order, here is Robbo going board as he's right behind the likes of Bolts. He's sort of dropped away a little bit from the likes of Kurse, Joji and Kamarov. But both Joji and Kamarov has managed to make their way past Kurse. But like I said, the other two are on the hard tyres. They'll be going longer in the race. And at some point I reckon everyone will be using the hards. And they'll be looking at the information. And they'll be thinking, do I or do I not? Be looking at how they're performing and looking that they've not quite got a lot of pace to them at the moment, for some people at least. Further back, Jesus and TL finally switching positions. As here comes Robbo on the back of Bolts, and in the meantime, here comes Phantom Dragon. I'm going to try and go around the outside of the pair of them. They go into turn 2. Deep Phantom Dragon he has to take to the rumble strips. That's going to throw him off, and it's going to allow Bolts to retake at least one of those positions he lost. But through goes Robbo up into P7. He's having a pretty good race out there as well. Meanwhile, Sniper Monkey has managed to eke out of DRS range from the back of Spread. Spread now falls out of the DRS range. In the meantime, Dystopian slowly closes in as Spread begins to run out of deployment, which is going to harm his straight line speed here. And Dystopian isn't bringing him just himself, he's bringing along the AlphaTauri of Kamarov, House of Joji and Kurse as well. So it's all closing back up towards the end. A couple of 3-second time penalties popping in there. I think that was might have been Shrek and THC. That's the better pronunciation of that one. Sniper Monkey, fastest lap of the race then, an 18.9. It's actually quite surprising to see fastest lap at this stage, where the tyres are starting to wear out a little bit. But here comes Kamarov. He's going to go through with the help of the DRS on a Dystopian. Dystopian's going to try and see if he can fight this one back by having a pretty good exit through the first chicane. Let's see if he can stay close or get a better run, as he gets very close and has to back off a little bit, taking a little bit too much speed into the second chicane there. And here we go then. They've all joined the back of DRS of Spread, as at the moment Sniper Monkey's going to start pulling away quite quickly in the Alfa Romeo there. Now with a 2.3 second gap, I think burning his ERS has sort of really harmed Spread's race here. He's not no straight line speed, and now he's got nothing to defend with. So he needs to start looking out in his mirrors now. As it stands at the moment, Hilly would only be scoring 4 points, which is not even close to the type of stuff he will be needing. But we've got yellow flags momentarily, and it's Franz. Franz has had a moment, and he finds himself nearly in the walls. as he tries to rejoin the track. He managed to keep it out of the wall though, crucially. But that allows Haley to go back up to P16. So as it stands, he'll be scoring 5 points again. Nowhere near enough what he would be needing. Bolts goes. Bolts loses position to Phantom Dragon. And Kamarov has been overtaken. Sorry, as overtaken. Spread. That's the right word. Jesus Christ. And oh, there's contact. Dystopian has ran into the back of Spread that carried too much speed, and he has now got front wing damage, and through goes Joji. He's going to try and fight this, but with the damage he isn't going to be able to have the downforce to hold it round the outside, and has to conceive a few positions and might have to conceive an early pit stop. Through goes Curse. That has gone terribly wrong for the pole sitter. With front wing damage, he will have to try and find his way into the pits. There's no way he'll be staying out. He's just going to be under a lot of pressure. Look at that, he's off the track. He's struggling to slow that car down into the corners now. I think he just carried too much speed going into the second chicane and just clipped the back of Spread's car. And that might have hurt Spread's rear tyres a little bit. We'll see, courtesy of the new damage model on this game. You can get affected by, collision with the wall, collision with a car and your tyres. It will hurt them. They can be hurt by contact. So Spread will have to watch his rear and see if he's lost any bit of pressure or any bit of damage there. It's not exactly ideal. Rear tyres do suffer a little bit, with a couple of low traction, well, quite a lot of low traction zones here. So here we go. Spread close to the back of Kamarov. Joji is also well within there. Curse slowly bringing into the back of this battle. I think Curse might be the only person on the hards who seems to be doing quite well. The rest of them very much not happy with the hard compound tyres, and a lot of those guys will be looking. Meanwhile, Dystopian did come into the pits. He's gone for soft tyres and repairing a new front wing, and he finds himself all the way down in P17. Disaster has struck for the pole sitter. It's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Here we go then. Spread utilising a bit of the battery as he closes up to the back of Kamarov, but hitting the brakes then for the chicane. No moves going to happen just yet. Further back, we've got Davies now come up to the back of Bolts, and struggling in the rear end there. Losing a lot of time. Both of the two soft runners from the start of this race seem to have dropped off a little bit now. We might be showing signs of a little bit of struggle from soft runners, and the medium runners will be starting to feel a bit more wear. But at the moment, most of the only hard runner that's doing well is Curse. The rest of them are struggling out there as the track begins to cloud over here. It is to be expected. We're expecting some cloud, some overcastness. Not really expecting any rain. Franz Piper comes into the pits then for the Red Bull. That one looks like an actual scheduled pit stop. He's gone onto the soft compound tyres and comes out back in P19. Bob with cursor a little bit as he's closed right up here, and here comes Joji on the back of Spread. He's got more ERS to play with. He's going to have a look then, trying down the inside into turn 2. They're side by side, giving it a pretty good battle there. This is pretty nice stuff. That was a pretty nice move from the Haas driver. Oh, please give us some more of that one if he's the new driver here. Lovely stuff. No contacts, no fault given. That was fantastic. That you don't see that happen often in turn 2 even. Just by the sheer nature of the corner exit. That's pretty good stuff. That was a lovely move. Spread now down in P4. Curse dropping back a little bit. I think it may have been made a mistake in the over the first two chicanes. Meanwhile, Davies found his way past Bolts, and he's the one bolting away from Bolts. Everyone continuing on. Dystopian makes his move on Schmidty as he tries to make his way up the order. Goes a little bit off the track, and it's allowed Schmidty to come right back through Acqua Minerale. They go round the outside for Schmidty, but Schmidty's gone off the track and picks up a penalty, and back through goes Dystopian. Further up ahead, Kamarov and Joji switch positions. Meanwhile, Stamper Monkey's got a 5-second lead. That pace has come out of nowhere, hasn't it? THC finally comes off them soft tyres. He's had enough and he's gone on to the mediums. So it does look like it's going to be about 15 laps or so for soft tyres, at least from higher fuel load. It's a very long pit lane, this. It's a very, very long pit lane. So out of the pits, so THC finds himself down in 17th, but he's on brand new tyres, fresh rubber. He'll be going pretty quick at the start of his new stint. Meanwhile, Joji has closed a lot on Sniper Monkey in one lap. All of a sudden, the new boy in Haas has absolutely lit up the track here and lighting up the timing screens. Not quite, because he hasn't got fastest laps coming out yet, but you know, it's going quick. He's bringing on everyone as well, and I'll tell you what, Spread will be loving this, as he was losing time to Sniper Monkey, and now he's going to be gaining time. In that process, though, you've got Kerr sniffing what Spread's had for dinner. I'll tell you what, it probably don't smell nice. Dystopian then with the new fastest lap on 18.8 from the soft tyres. 4 laps old. Shows that they do have a little bit of life in them. At least good for another 10 or 12 laps then. How long are these medium runners going to last then? Bolts now sees Jesus close to the back of him. The hard's looking not ideal as a race tyre, really. I mean, Curse is the best one of the hards, but every time he seems to get close to making overtakes, he seems to become under pressure or loses a lot of time. So I think, you know, the hard is supposed to be quite an inconsistent time. But here we go then. Saying that, he's now going to make the move on the back of Spread, and that is perilously close to the inside wall there. Gone the long way around the outside. Spread's going to fight this one a little bit. No, he's going to let him go through here, understandably. Meanwhile, that is Robbo with a bit of contact with Phantom Dragon, and he's going to lose a couple of positions. Spriggs looks at that and says, "Thank you very much. I'll go up into P6. Kurz picks up a time penalty. Like I say, he makes the overtake and he struggles with the grip again. Interesting. Very interesting. So the hard tyres not looking like a very good race compound. I think the best tyre looks to be the mediums. Even the softs don't look too bad. Even the likes of Jesus finds himself in P11 at the moment, running close to the back of Bolts. The track is getting very, very dark. It is very much clouded over at Imola here. Obviously, unlike the real F1, Imola rather got flooded a bit. As per severe rain, you ultimately cancelled the race for 2023 in Imola. But we've got one here, and into the pits for Jesus then. What tyre compound could this be to go on? Will he go to the hards? Will he go to the mediums? We'll have a look then. Pulls into the pits. It looks like a set of medium compound tyres going onto that car. Pretty clean pit stop there. he's definitely going to be coming out behind THC though, as undercut is going to be pretty powerful. Coming out the pit lane, actually, it's a bit closer than I thought. A little bit closer than I thought. Although, no, actually, no, he's gone through. He's actually been passed by Schmitty as well. Never mind, though, you keep forgetting how long that pit lane really is. Out in front, that gap that was originally at 5 seconds went down to 3, and now it's sat at about 2.9, 2.8. It's slowly coming down, is that gap. Good progress being made by Joji. I think Snapper Monkey's tyres, I think, maybe starting to fall off the cliff a bit here, whilst the rest are able to close right in. Still a DRS train from P2 down to P5. Then you've got the Phantom Dragon, the two McLarens behind. Then you got the Ferraris on their own little gap. And then we got a few other big gaps, which means finding the right gap to pit in between so you're not stuck in traffic is going to be difficult. But here comes Robbo to retake the position from Phantom Dragon. Goes back into P7 and tries to re-chase after Spriggs here. Robbo's had a very good race out there. Hilly, in the meantime, is up in P13, but we've had a couple of people make pit stops. Speaking of stops, let's have a look there. So the likes of Jesus, THC, Dystopian, Franz Piper have kind of made schedule or slightly early pit stops for Dystopian's case, and Shrek made the pit stop on lap 1 from earlier damage. Quick look at the gaps to the lead, just how far behind Hilly is from Snampunk at the moment. It's only 24 seconds, which isn't too bad in reality. It's sort of thereabouts for a pit stop. Rob only found himself 9.3 off, and then the rest are slowly closing in. And speaking of in, here is the first of the medium runners. It's Spread. He's pulled the trigger on the undercut and he's in the pits. What tyres are those? Those are hard compound tyres. Now this is going to be interesting. Them hards haven't looked exactly the greatest in terms of race pace. So it's going to be nice to see what can Spread do. That's Dystopian is actually gone through. And we have a look then, just to see. Oh, that's the wrong button. Jesus, that's the fastest lap in 18.4. The gap to the leader is 30 seconds. So it's about 32 second pit stop. Yeah, a pit stop around here under normal racing conditions. Obviously, that's going to be cut significantly shorter under a VSC or a safety car, which we haven't seen yet. We haven't really seen any likelihood of it happening yet. Everyone's been going along quite fine, which is quite rare to see actually. Not really many mistakes. There's been a couple of off tracks by the Red Bulls. Found themselves down P18, P19. But apart from that, everyone's been pretty good. Been spick and span really. And there we go, immediately on the response then, as in comes Spriggs, Curse, Kamarov, they're all in the pits. They are responding to the earlier threat of an undercut. Also into the pits, that's a hard runner of Bolts. So softs for Kamarov, mediums for Curse, mediums for Spriggs. I think might be mediums for Bolts as well. Where does Spread come out in terms of that then? He's going to be side by side by Kamarov, and he's just ahead of Kamarov. It has worked out, but the rest of them behind are on a different compound and a quicker compound of tyres, especially Kamarov on the softs. So all these pit stops now starting to slowly come in. Robbo, one of those yet to pit, sitting in P3. The gap between Joji and Sabuki now down to 1.6. I reckon these two might pit. Let's have a look then. Does that car peel off to the pits? No. Does Joji? Yes, he will. I think that was a box opposite to the car ahead type of call. I reckon Robbo as well might respond here. No, it's going to be Phantom Dragon. Both of the McLarens are staying out. Interesting. So both McLarens found themselves in the top 3 positions. Joji's going on to the soft tyres. That's going to put Snapper Monkey under threat from the undercut from quite a lot of people now. As here's Dystopian going through on Corey in the same car. Corey on 22 lap all hards. We've got yellow flags, and that's for Theo. Theo has gone round and he's in the wall, and we've got a safety car. Well, we were just talking about it. We haven't really seen any chance for safety car. We've got one now, and that has just saved the day for Sniper Monkey, and it is huge scenes for Robbo and Hilly. Hilly's going to get a nice cheap pit stop. He might gain a couple of positions here, but we'll have to see, because a lot of people have pit behind him. Everyone will now be coming into the pit, so that window's sort of around doing 21, 22 laps or so on the mediums. Even some of the hard runners were coming in. Shrek finally going to be back into this. I reckon he will probably have quite a lonely race at the back there after his earlier incident. And in comes the race leader. In reality, where is this going to put Robbo and Davies? They have had a huge shout here, and Davies is just going to have to slow down a little bit earlier just to try and give himself a teammate a gap, but I think he's going to get held in the pits a little bit here. Round comes Dystopian. He's going to come into the pits along with teammate Corey. He's going to again suffer the fact of a double stack, unfortunately. No constructors battle, remember, it's all drivers. Hilly's in. Cameron goes through all the way up to P4, P3, P2. I want to see where Robbo comes out. He's going to come out all the way up in P7. Who has jumped? He's jumped Spriggs, Jesus, Bolts. And he's gone on to the hard compound tyres. Both McLaren's gone onto the hard compound tyres. Hilly comes out 14th after all that. And he's on the medium compound tyre. Joji is not going to be happy with that. He's now lost not only positions to Cameron and Spread, but he's now also lost a chance to undercut Sniper Monkey, who re-inherits the lead of this Grand Prix. Anyway, we're under safety car conditions and no overtaking, and everyone can close right back up to the main field. Everyone has to at least stay within 10 car lengths of each other whilst they're under the safety car queue. The race is effectively neutralised. So, sort of worked out massively well at safety car first. Sniper Monkey is able to keep the lead of this race. Camera up into P2, Spread back in P3, and Joji just behind in P4. They're on the soft tyres compared to a hard runner. Spread might become a bit under attack. THC stayed out there on the 8 lap on mediums. Fair. Robbo finds himself in fresh hards down up in P7, Hilly down in P14. Let's have a look then at what this looks like points wise then. So in P14 Hilly would only be gaining 7 points. Currently sat in P3, Spread would gain 27 points, and sat in P7 Robbo would gain 18 points. So if you look at try and do quick maths in my head, which is a terrible idea. Yeah, very terrible idea. Don't do maths. It's bad. It's not working out. So we said that Hilly needed at least 22 points over Robbo and at least 4 points over Spread. At the moment, Spread gains 20 points on Hilly, and Rob would be gaining 11 points, which really reduces that gap. That gap's only 14 points. That would then become a 3-point gap. Right, the spreads is a 32. That would go down to a 12-point gap. That would really close things up, that. Close things up immensely. Still got a long way to go. Everyone's still in this race. Still full 19 drivers. As they'll take a breather as we wait for France to close. I don't think the safety car's going to be going around again. Which is all good. All good for those that pitted for the fresher tyres. So we saw early on Sniper Monkey able to pull away from the likes of Spread and Dystopian, but he managed to get caught back up quite quickly by the Hass of Joji, and Joji was bringing along the rest of the field with him. So did Sniper Monkey bite a little bit too much out of his tyres early on? It's quite a possibility that. Have a look at the race director then. Let's have a look at the current situation on the tyres. So Sniper Monkey's yet to use a different compound, so really his next stop is either going to be for hards or it's going to be for a soft, which will more than likely result into another pit stop. Kamarov has used 2 different compounds, same for the likes of Spread, Joji, Curse, THC, Robbo. Spriggs needs to use a different compound. We've got Jesus has used 2 different ones, Dystopia's used 2 different ones. We've got Tio needs to use Spiddy as well. So a few people there need to use different compound. As per the official Formula 1 rules, you have to use at least 2 different tyre compounds. Unless it's a wet race, in which case that rule is not needed. But it's going to remain dry here. Sun now comes back up. Hello Clem, you only just got back. Oh my god. Yeah, you were pretty stuck though, weren't you? Rip. So, Sniper Monkey then leads the safety car restart. And he's got a lot of cars lurking behind him. He can decide when to restart this race, but obviously there's no overtaking until you pass that start-finish line. As the safety car now comes into the pits, he sees that and he has gone for it. Kamarov a little bit caught out there. So it's not a bad restart at all there for Sniper Monkey. Actually, he's caught Kamarov out quite a bit, and so has that got spread out as well. Here we go then, we're restarting this race on lap 27 out of 63. Still got a long way to go as Spriggs has made the overtake on Robbo immediately off the restart. Further back you can see Bolt's getting quite close to the back of Davies there, but has to stay behind as everyone's going to be absolutely pouncing on their batteries on the restart. Here comes Bolt's now to have another look, but can't quite do anything just yet. Meanwhile, Phantom Dragon makes the move, but lags a little bit unfortunately there. We're going to go right back to the top end as we got Joji applying the pressure here on the back of Spread, who is on the hard tyres. Continuing on then through Aqua Minerale as Spread is trying to stay as close as he can, see if he can pick up DRS when it's re-enabled. Obviously it's going to be no DRS for another couple of laps here. Continuing down, Kamarov applying the pressure to Sniper Monkey whilst pulling away from Spread on them hards. Like I say, we've seen them hards that not being exactly the greatest race tyre. And Joji losing a little bit of time. Kamarov fastest lap then in 18.0. Track is whilst the fuel rods are starting to burn, you can see them times getting quicker and quicker. Further back, Bolts finally gets past ahead of Davies and into the top 10 once again. Gliding around as well for good measure. In fact, hang on, he's going to have a go at Jesus into the second chicane. Gets alongside the inside, now goes for the switchback move. Absolutely brilliant stuff there from Bolts. What a move that is for P9. It's not quite over yet. Jesus has got a pretty good exit and sticks right close to the gearbox. We're going to continue on through the next couple of corners. He might have to just back out of that one. fair play to Bolts. That was a great move. Caught Jesus by surprise. Not many people can say that. Not many people will have said that ever, actually. Unless the other people nailing him to a cross, I guess. We're enough Jesus jokes for now. Someone's bound to get offended. Anyways, moving it on, we've got the Dystopian, the pole sitter, down in 12th place after earlier contact with Spread. Sorry, loses front wing, just took a little bit too much speed, ran into the back of him. Spriggs goes through into P6. He's making a last minute charge, but THC isn't getting up fighting that one. Has a look to try down the inside, but couldn't quite get alongside. Further back, Davies under a lot of pressure from Dystopian, goes a little bit wide on the exit, right round the outside for Dystopian. He goes through into P11, having a look there. What a dive from Phantom. He gets really all up in Davies' gearbox there as well. How much speed is he able to carry on? Further up the field, it is Spread and Joji having a bit of a ding-dong round the outside for Joji, and that is a great move. You don't see that happen very often. Well, that is huge there. Schmitty is out of this race. Schmitty is out. He seems to have gone off at I think about turns 10 11 down there. And we've got a second safety car. You know what, I may have cursed it. I said, we're still running with all drivers, and now we finally lose one driver, and it is unfortunately Schmitty. He's had rotten luck this season. Hopefully he can come back next season fighting harder. As into the pits comes Joji and Curse. Interesting. And who else is that? It was THC, obviously. He stayed out under the first one. Corey also coming in. Hilly coming in as well. Interesting. Few different pit calls there, and that's hard tyres for the Haas. THC as well on the Haas. Teo going hards, Corey going for mediums, Haley also going for mediums. Interesting. It's lap 30 out of 63. We're under another safety car. Spriggs on the field? Oh, we know he's on the field. He always on the fields. It's known facts throughout the entirety of Formula 1 here. Spriggs under fuels every race he does. So it's actually on the verges of going into the green by the looks of things. So safety car's helping him out. But yeah, it is a normal call for Spriggs to underfuel at every single race. I don't know how he's able to save so much fuel all the time, but fair play. It obviously works, and works well. Oh dear, that's not worked well for Corey. He's picked up a penalty under the safety car. Oh dear. Oh dear indeed. Yeah, no Mike. No Mike today. He's away in the north, apparently, even though it really isn't. Rightio. So, Snapper Monkey still leads from Kamarov, and then we've got Spread in P3. Now, these haven't pitted under this second safety car here, whereas Joji and Curse, who was within that battle, have. So it's going to be interesting to see how these different strategies will play out towards the end here. Nearly get to, well, just getting to the about halfway stages here now. So, Hards, to be fair, Hards might be able to stretch the end of the race. Don't see the mediums doing that though. I know we're, half. Most guys will be at half fuel level now, so the fuel is definitely going to be a lot less, and less weight. So that pressure eases off the tyres. But it'd be a struggle for mediums to go to the end here. It'd be a struggle. But as I'm always clinically proven wrong, in 100%. Hello, Vice. Hello. Thank you for joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So for those of you who have missed out, the main action talking points here is on lap 1, Shrek had an issue somewhere down the grid, which saw him pit on lap 1. Now he stands in P11. I think around the lap 14 or so, we saw Dystopian run into the back of Spread by mistake, losing his front wing and forcing him to pit early. And not that long ago we saw Schmitty out of this race, the first driver to actually DNF. So here we go then, Snapper Monkey on a second safety car restart. Is he going to do the same thing? No, he's going to do it at a different point. He's going to rethink. And he's going on the exit of turn 18. He's done a fairly decent job again, but Cameron has responded a bit better to that one. But further back, it Spriggs on Spread there a little bit, but backs out in the end. We see Bots up into P6, doing pretty well again. Davies making moves up the order of the field. There's Round at the back. Looks like Curse has had a moment. Curse has had a moment somewhere in the Tamburella chicane, and that's not gone very well for Curse. It's got disasters, and off the track for THC as Healy gets overtaken by Franz Piper, and going a bit deep there in the background is Theos, all kicking off towards the back of the grid there. Championship leader Hilly really struggling out there. Been in the likes of P15 for nearly all race. He'll be looking to forget about this race and just try and get as much points as he can through strategy at this rate. It's the best he can hope for. In comes Davies down the inside of Phantom Dragon. He's got the inside line for the turn 18. He's managed to get a decent exit, but Phantom Dragon's still going to go push through. In getting involved as well, here comes Shrek, as he is now going to provide the pressure here on both Davies and Phantom Dragon as they go into turn 2. It's through goes Shrek on Davies. THC is out. He is out, and he is in the pit lane and out. Oh dear. Things not going well there for THC. Second driver to be out of this race then. Here's Phantom Dragon getting past Jesus round the... trying to pass Jesus down the inside even. He's going to try and have to fight this one all the way through the next couple of corners there. He's got a better line, better speed there, and better gripping as well with the slightly newer tyres. And through goes Phantom Dragon, fighting his way through the order of the field yet again, but he's going to be under pressure here from Jesus. He tries to go round the outside into the chicane. You don't see that attempt often there, but backfires, and now Jesus is going to be under pressure from Shrek behind as they go towards turn 17. Look at the back of the Aston Martin. Everyone braking now. So he's going to wait for the straight here. DRS is now once again re-enabled for the next following lap for these guys. Here comes Shrek. Look at the overspeed he has. Franz Piper pick up a 3-second time penalty as through goes Shrek into P9. Jesus is not over worried about another position as through goes Davies as well. And that's Joji looking to get involved. He's down in 12th and not having the greatest restart on them hard compound tyres. It's a shame. He looked very, very strong towards the end of the first stint, and he looks to go down the inside turn 7, and that is a good move, but it's not quite done yet. They're still going to be fighting this one all the way to the next couple of corners now. Joji finally gets ahead of the Aston Martin. Jesus really falling down the order at this point. It's not the first time he's fallen either. So Robbo sat in P6, Spread in P3 still, and he's just losing touch of DRS. Can he sneak his way back in it? We go on board with the Alpine as he goes around the last couple of corners here. And he's not done it. He is out of DRS. This will be music to Spriggs' ears as he closes up massively, considering apologies there, considering Spread has not got a lot of battery left to play with. Karov has been consistently on the back of Sniper Monkey here, but fearing them soft tyres might be starting to go towards the end of their life, such as the high degree. Oh, no, we can't say that word. It's just impossible. I just can't do it. Let's give up. Yeah, like I say, here's what we're seeing. We're seeing the effects of just how much the Hards seem to be struggling in terms of actual race pace. And we're also seeing it with the likes of Robbo. Which will be good news for Hilly if they start losing positions. Makes his job a little bit easier going into the next races. Really, at the moment, he's very much not going to be taking the title down in 14th place. Here we go then. Here comes Spriggs on the back of Spread. DRS, not even going to use the battery. And it's going to be a bog standard overtake as he goes back on to the podium. Spriggs started way down the order. I think it was down in P13. And now finds himself running in P3. He's having a great recovery from, I can't even say a poor qualifying because it was so close. Everyone pretty much within a second, barring the bottom three, which was I think Franz Jesus and someone else, I can't remember. As off the track goes Curse. Off the track and nearly finding the barriers as well. And now going to be continuing to do some pirouettes for us. Lovely. So Kamarov now starting to drop back quite heavily from Sniper Monkey. As expected, them soft tyres really start to struggle, you know, past lap 14. So we might see him pitting quite shortly. But he'll have to extend that a little bit. Probably trying. He'll be looking to try and get to lap 40 or so. But he's managed to sneak back within DRS, but only just. Spread is going to be looking to try and maintain DRS on the back of Spriggs just to help with the defence. As here comes Bolts. He's done it again. He's done this again. He gets right up in the field, right up in the action, going, making moves and all that. But he's got a penalty. Can he keep it to a minimum this time? They seem to rack up quite a lot. It's the one thing he really can do with working on going into the future here. As we continue, the train forming behind Spread as Robbo just lurking in the background trying to get within DRS. Curse retires into the pits. Not surprised, he seemed to have just gone all pear-shaped on the second safety car restart. It is a shame, he was up there, he was fighting for the podium. And is now out of this race. Dystopian, the pole sitter of this race, back up into P7. What can he potentially recover here? The yellow flag's still out for the count, will be coming back onto the track and is... Oh dear! Robbo has gone round! He has gone round at turn 17, and that is a disaster in the championship fight. The pressure has got to him. That's, I mean, not a bit of a poor camera angle, but it looks like he may have just dropped that one on his own. Unless there was a slight bit of contact. That has really gone pear-shaped and now finds himself down in B13, but still, crucially, ahead of Hilly. Oh dear. Here comes Joji around the outside of Davies, or Davies on the inside, I should say. They're going to be fighting away all the way through towards the next couple of corners here then. And Joji is going to take that position away from Davies there. He judging one of the new drivers seems to be lighting up the track at the moment. It's really now starting to become dreamland here for the likes of Spread. But he's still got a long way to go and a lot of work to do. We're definitely past halfway and entering and starting to go towards the final third even. This time it looks like Spread is going to be trying to go for the attack on Spriggs. Here we go then. He's going to be going for the outside line into the next corners as there's Bolts looking to get involved as well, but he's just going to have to hang fire through the next couple of corners. Spriggs getting a bit of a poor exit. Is this going to allow Bolts to have a look? He's going to try and get alongside into the next chicane, but doesn't quite do so. Spread is back up into P3, and these lot are fighting very hard now. Shrek has sort of been released a bit there to P6, and he's going to be trying to make some headrows into this race. Yeah, it really does look like them hard tyres are not doing great. Well, not doing great for a lot of people, but some people are managing to make them work, which is interesting. Phantom Dragon picks up a time penalty. That's unfortunate. As we head over to then the train a la Shrek, involving the likes of Dystopian, Phantom, Joji, Davies and Corey. As Jesus now doing 20 laps on the medium tyres. He'll be thinking about pitting soon at this rate, and he's definitely going to be burning them out a bit. Here comes actually Joji on Phantom, and Dystopian getting close to Shrek. Shrek having a little bit of lag movement and out of shape through Dambarella, and continuing on then. Dystopian really getting close to the gearbox of the Alfa Romeo. Joji looking very pushy on them hard as well. He's doing quite, the person who's doing quite well on hard tyres. That was Curse, who's now out of the race. He's been cursed. A terrible jump, terrible one. Phantom struggling a bit for grip as he has a bit of a tank slapper. It's not ideal for the tyres at all. It's a game of degradation. Why do I keep attempting to say it? I literally can't. Jesus. A game of tyre wear. And tyre burning. It doesn't sound as good. Oh, into the pits comes Kamarov. I was right. He'll be looking to get to, 40, 41 or so, to switch on to what will be a set of mediums. Jesus is also into the pits as well. Yep, there he goes. Medium tyres for Kamarov. And Jesus, I imagine he'll be doing the same. Yes, he is. Spriggs released into P3, Spread released into P2, and Sample Monkey out in the lead, and probably going to start extending that gap over the likes of Master Spread, who's still got a bit of battling to do. Further back, that was Joji and Dystopian having a bit of fight as Dystopian's forced to go the long way around the outside. I think that's Joji making the move on Dystopian now, as they set off after the pack ahead of them, which involves Spread. Here we go. That's Robbo and Healy very close together on track. Next of kings to each other, actually. We've definitely seen that happen quite a lot throughout the season. And now we're endeavoured into a huge DRS train as Spread gets passed by Spriggs, and I think we'll see them positions change quite often as well. Look at the back of the Haas as the cars are all following in close range of each other, all in this DRS train, which we talk about every race. We see how quickly it forms, and in reality, sometimes it makes it that much harder for these guys to make the overtakes, unless you're the guy at the front, in which case, good luck, you're gonna need it. It's the same goes for the real F1. You see these DRS trains form, you just can't make the moves, and then your tyres are starting to get, burnt out a bit. Your concentration can lapse that much quicker because you have to really focus on the car behind if they're going to make a move, or if the car ahead is going to make the mistake, so you can attack. It's a mental game, really. It's all psychological warfare, which at this stage it takes a toll. It does take a toll. We saw it in Singapore and how everyone felt like they just had the biggest leg day of their lives at the bloody gym. You can't blink at all. Yellow flags again out there for Franz Piper, but still in the race. Still in the race. And Joji is now nearly closed on to the back of Bolts here. And this is going to slowly become a rather large battle for P2. Spriggs currently leading that one. And actually, here we go then. He's joined on. He's been in DRS. Jesus, fastest lap in 18.0. Slightly quicker than what Cameral's was earlier on the soft tyres. So there I say, might get beaten a little bit. Speaking of beaten, Phantom Dragon starting to struggle a bit more than we usually see him. Normally, he's the one that really can stick it up there to the top three, getting good podiums and all that. But but here he seems to be struggling that little bit more than we usually see. It's very interesting, very interesting. In fact, Shrek is also another guy who's starting to drop out of the trains. It's now going back again to a 5-car battle then. On board with Dystopian, as you can see them all just up ahead, just down the road, heading into turns 2, 3 and 4. And that's Davies getting past Phantom Dragon. Kamarov goes even, oh yeah, look at that, Kamarov going even quicker, 17.1. People who are more than likely to make another pit stop will be looking at that and thinking, right, when do I pull the trigger here? Because you're going to have to think about doing it soon, otherwise you're going to run out of laps to potentially catch back up. Like I say, some 30 odd second pit stop around here, which Kamarov is well and truly within that pit window, all the way up to Sniper Monkey. So these guys are going to think about that pit stop. They've done 22, 23 lap on these current set of tyres. Most of them, some only 14 or so from the extra pit stop under the second safety car. But they're being caught up. They are being caught up. That's Joji getting passed by Dystopian. In fact, they're going to be still maintaining quite close. We go board then with the Haas as he looks to try and retake that position. As I said that, into the pits comes Phantom and Davies. They're going to pull the trigger a bit on this one, round the outside then for Joji, and it's just nearly worked out further up ahead. You can see it's Spread, Bolts, Spriggs all getting involved. Spread goes back up into P2, under pressure a bit from Spriggs. He tries to get the switchback move, having to dice back into the middle as Bolts gets involved. He's down the inside into turn 7, and that's round the outside for Joji. They're all side by side. Look at that, it's like a big snake all the way through. Here we go then, continuing further down, and that is Spread just going to hang on there, but he's had a bit of a tank slapper as we go towards Acqua Minerale. They're all really close now together, not much separating. They're all sniffing each other. Oh my god, it's the world's biggest human centipede. Going then into the chicane. They're definitely going to have to go a bit single file through here and focus on the exit. Spread could be under a lot of pressure going into this next DRS straight here. Needs to focus on the exit. And there we go, into the pits for Spriggs. He's coming. Shrek as well. The pit stops are coming. That's going to help Spread in a defensive position here. But further back, it's Joji and Dystopian, again getting very close. You are right, Hilly is gaining on Robo, but it's very slow moving progress. And in the background, you can see Kamarov also starts to close. We've got soft tyres going on for Spriggs, Shrek, Davies on the mediums. Phantom Dragon went onto the softs. Jesus went onto used mediums. And keeping an eye out just down the back of the order, you can see that Shrek losing a couple of positions to, I think, Phantom and Davies there as he was coming out the pits onto soft tyres. The softs will well and truly make it to the end from here. But do you go for the softs or do you go for the mediums? That might just be a little bit of a better race compound. Looking now, it's crunch time then. We're probably going to see a couple of more pit stops then. We got a ball back again and wanted with the Haas. And we'll see if any of these guys peel off, which I'd imagine they're most likely guaranteed to do. No, they're all staying out. Interesting. Very interesting. That Dystopian, though, will go into the pits. Whilst these guys are staying out, they're losing more and more time. Are they waiting for a safety car, potentially, or a virtual? I don't know, but that is Kamarov going through on Hilly. And that will not necessarily be the worst news, as Hilly can get pulled along a bit here as they close up towards the likes of Robbo. And further back, the Dystopian, they're going to be behind the whole lot of cars as Davies makes his move on Jesus for P12. Quickly cut off to that as we go back then to Kamarov closing on Robbo. Anything can still happen in this championship fight, which is currently not going in favour towards our championship leader Hilly, sat in P9. Spread, he looks to be looking very nice there in P2, but is he going to come into the pits? Sniper Monkey does come into the pits, that's the race leader back in. Is any of these guys? No, they're all staying out. Are they going to really go for the extend to the end here? There's no way. Phantom Dragon picks up another penalty. Here we go then. Here comes Kamarov on the back of Rob. And he is through and up into P6, and after the rest of them that are still out there. Crunch time, fastest lap then by Phantom Dragon into the 116s. That's a 116.9 by Phantom Dragon on the soft tyres, and Jesus making the move once again past on Davies. These two are going to be fighting all the way through. Not exactly what they need to close up to the rest of the pack. That is just slightly ahead of them. Further up quickly here, as we can see, Joji getting close to the back of Bolts. Bolts sitting in B2, but these guys surely coming into the pit soon. Understandable for the ones on the 18 lap old tyres, but 26, 27 laps, come on. Joji buying his time, waiting for the DRS. Doesn't want to make the move too early. They're still going out there. What, mad. Here comes Joji then to take P2 away from Bolts, on track at least. But Bolts isn't done fighting this one. They're going to be side by side in two, but ultimately he's beaten out to the corner as he falls behind a bit there. Spread going to be joining them two battling as he's still not done yet. He's being very feisty there in the Ferrari. And, oh no, he's picked up another penalty though. It's not what he wanted to do. Davies and Jesus switching positions again. You're right, those mediums must be absolutely blown up at this stage. I say this all the time, and I'm forever shocked by the strategies we get pulled out here. There's unbelievable scenes. Here, back for the battle to P12, which it's a battle for God knows really, with the pits and how much they can close up on each other. It's still very much difficult to say who's going to be on the top three, because top three yet to pit. Are they going to the end? Are they not? I don't know. It's an absolute mystery to me. Stilton picks up a penalty, is finally into the pits. Comes Bolts. And Kamarov is getting very close to the back of Tio in the other Ferrari. We look at the back of the Dystopian here. Finds himself, back of Jesus even. Finds himself on the pressure from the Dystopian and Shrek behind. They're all going to pull out left, right and centre as they go towards turn 2. Who's going to come out on top of this one? Shrek just has to stay back on that one. Otherwise it would have been 3 wide, which really does not go into turn 2 there. Spread has a 1.3 second lead over Joji. And another 2 second count to likes of Corey and Tio, and then here comes Kamarov. He's very close to the back of Tio and probably going to make the overtake quite soon here. Yeah, if they take this all the way to the end, then fair play. Absolutely fair play to the lad if he does this. Here we go then. Through goes Kamarov down the inside at turn 17. And I don't think Dio's going to be fighting that one very hard at all. He knows it's sort of a done deal at this stage. Kamarov up into P4, but I say that Dio's coming back at him a little bit here with the straight line speed, even though Kamarov has got DRS. Further back, that's Sniper Monkey making the move on Hilly, and that's putting Hilly back down to P8. I think when the Hilly gets overtaken, he starts to lose time a little bit to Robbo and then gains it back and then has to do it all over again because the rest of the cars are quickly approaching behind as the rest of them have managed to go through time balance again. Jesus is struggling out there a little bit compared to also the other soft runners who went on to old mediums. So strategy really hasn't worked out there for Jesus. That's Sniper Monkey right to the back of Robbo. In fact, is he going to be able to? Yes, he is going to go for the move into the chicane. Going to go round the outside and through into P6 for Sniper Monkey. He is not wasting any time. He is cracking on with it, going full send for the Alfa Romeo. He's trying to fight Kamarov for the win, and potentially the likes of the rest of the top 3 at the moment. Slowly approaching Kamarov on the back of Corey. That is on 22 up, 11 lap difference between the tyres now. Unlike Spread out front, who's actually started to increase his lead over Joji a little bit. How? I do not know. I simply don't know. That's Spriggs through on Hilly. Bolt's fastest lap is 16.4. He's got a lot of progress to make and not a lot of time to do it. 12 laps remain. It's definitely a stay out situation now for the top 4. I'd say top 5 even. Not really count Kamarov because he's already pitted. It has to be a stay out situation. There's no way they'll pit this late because there's simply not enough time to make that gap up. So already I'm impressed that, especially Spread, he's already done 31 laps on them hard tyres. That is going to be a mega stint. An absolute mega stint. We're going to quickly cut off this battle as we can see. Here comes Kamarov on the back of Corey, and this is going to take him up into the podium places. And meanwhile, we've got Dystopian and Davies with a bit of a situation down in the final sector there. That's Robbo getting passed by Spriggs for P7 there. I wonder what happened. I think Davies may have made a mistake in the final sector, which is why we saw the yellow flags and a lot of jumping of different positions there. But that's Kamarov now up into P3. And now chasing down Joji and then Spread after that. As Davies also picked up a 3-second time penalty. There's a lot of penalties out there, and there's also quite a few people that don't have penalties there. So well done to all those. Not exactly an easy thing to do around here. So fair play indeed. Right, so that gap going to start tumbling down pretty quick. There's much fresher tyres compared to much older tyres. And then much older tyres. Sniper Monkey goes through on Teo in good time, and now we've got another 3 seconds to set off after Corey. This is going to be scenes if Spread has somehow managed to pull this one off. He's lost a bit of time though that last lap. I think he may have made a slight error on track, as he was gaining on the extending his lead, sorry, I should say. So it's all kicking off. Meanwhile, further back, that's Dystopian and Jesus yet again switching positions through Tamburella. Who's second to Hilly? It is Robbo. Robbo is second to Hilly, and Spread is third to Hilly. All of them 3 drivers within a shot of the title. But this is definitely looking to go all the way to the very last round as it stands at the moment. And as it stands at the moment, Spread is doing an absolute fantastic job out in front. I don't know how he's somehow holding on there, but he is. And that is just what a stint. He's now starting to feel a bit of pressure from the likes of Joji. Karov's progress has very much slowed down. Someone's progress who isn't slowing down is Sniper Monkey. He is absolutely flying out there track, and now the next driver to him is Kamarov. So things are changing again for Kamarov. He's sort of finding limits of his medium tyres, and they're starting to fall off on him. Everyone making DRS overtakes on that start-finish straight. Robo sat at P9, Hilly now dropped down to P12, and they're going to be under pressure from the likes of Jesus very quickly here. That's going to hop onto that on board with the Aston Martin. As you can also see just up ahead, Dystopian and Shrek. Spread almost now on, he's going to be under pressure now with DRS threats from Joji and nearly Kamarov as well. Is Joji going to potentially win his first race for the FPR100? Is that going to be our 8th different race winner? We've had 7 different race winners so far in this season. Unbelievable, we have an 8th. Unbelievable scenes it will be. That's Spriggs looking to make a move on Teo, as you can see on the timing screens. In fact, he's already done it along that start-finish straight, and we're about to see Jesus make the move on Hilly as it really is starting to tumble down the order in the background as well. You can see Bolts closing in very quickly, but having to just duck out of it last minute there as he just ran out of time to pull out, but he's pulled out on going to the second chicane on Hilly. Is he going to think about diving? Nope. Hilly with a bit more straight line speed, considering a higher battery. And well, yeah, you can see Bolts is really just trying to find a gap to get through here, but it's looking like it's not quite going to work out just yet. And has to sit behind him for an unnecessarily longer amount of time than he would have really wanted to there. Further up ahead, here is Joji right on the back of race leader Spread. Kamarov's there, Sniper Monkey's there. It is now back to a 4-car battle for the lead of the Grand Prix. It's like 56 out of 63. We are very much in the closing stages here. Here we go then. Nothing much for Spread can do here. He's going to be overtaken by Joji as he goes into the lead of the Imola Grand Prix. And not using the bloody stupid long name because I'll be there forever saying it and trying to pronounce it correct. So lead is changed once again. This time Joji takes the lead from Spread. Spread immediately under a lot of pressure from Kamarov and Sniper Monkey behind. He is on 36 lap old hards compared to much fresher softs, 9 laps to 16 lap mediums. What a stint. And still going to be gaining quite a lot of points even if he finishes all the way down in B4 or even B5. As Spriggs is now really starting to close in as well. But you would absolutely love to see this man get a podium as he's out of shape through the exit of the chicane. That's Kamarov holding back to make sure he gets the DRS. He knew what to do in that situation. Deep by Sniper Monkey into turn 17 in the background, and now Spread with a little bit of DRS, no battery whatsoever, trying to gain on Sniper Monkey whilst being defending from Kamarov. Kamarov running out of battery as well. Here comes Spread, but runs out of road, and that is saved Spread for dear life. None of these guys have ERS left to burn, and that could be the saviour that carries him to the end of this race. It is nip and tuck between the top 4 here. Once again, it is a thing that we see happen so very often. Can Spread keep within touching distance of Joji up ahead? He is surely on the absolute limits of grip that those hard tyres have to offer. This is going to be a 40 lap plus stint from Spread, who's now under pressure going into the chicane. Is he going to get a better run than he did last time? Yes, he is. Burns it all again to keep well as close as possible to the back of Joji, making sure he gets the DRS. This time, Kamarov got a lot more battery to use compared to Spread, as he's already burnt so much. Red lights flashing everywhere, and I think he's going to save again, but in doing so could allow him to be under pressure from Sniper Monkey behind. On the way towards turn 2, Spread has a look yet again going into Tambrella. He needs to be careful of doing that as he loses a bit of time. The other 3 behind get a little bit interested. Robbo falls down to P13, Hilly down in P15. This is unbelievable scenes here for Master Spread, a person who doesn't even really think about the championship. Could be the person who goes into this with a huge advantage, or at least a huge points gain, and could actually end up taking B2 at this rate, I think. Still a long way to go. Lap 59, not really a long way, but a fair way to go. Lap 59 out of 63. I think we're about to see the repeat happen once again, but look how close Sniper Monkey is to the back of Kamarov. All these guys are now just absolutely coffined out by pace and DRS trains. They've got no battery left to use. They've got not much in attack or defence. Here comes Kamarov though. He's got a much better chance here. He pulls out to go alongside Spread for P2 and he is through. Is Sniper Monkey get involved? The fact they're all going to get involved is the time they go into turn 2. They're side by side. Joji holds off for now. Spread down to P4 and through goes Kamarov on that. Sniper Monkey as well. Getting up on Spread as he drops a huge amount of time there through Tambrella and now becomes under pressure to drop to P5 as Spriggs closes in. Did he have a problem in this game? I think he may have done, as he got really swamped out in the end as everyone closed in and could lose P5. Could lose P4 even. Lap 60 out of 63. Joji still holding on to the lead of this race on 30 lap old hard compound tyres. Kamarov right there to take it. Sniper Monkey to pounce on at the end. This is absolute show-stopping stuff. Not long to go to decide the end. This could be a top 3. They could do a Bahrain Who knows? Here comes Sniper Monkey then on the back of Kamarov as they both look to swamp out Joji straight away. Is Sniper Monkey be able to send it? No, has to hit the brakes very quickly before he gets swamped. He's had a pretty poor run there through the first chicane and becomes immediately under pressure back from the Haas driver as they go continuing on. They settle back down once again. But now Kamarov finds himself in the position where he will not have the DRS to defend going into this next lap. Further back, you can see Spriggs very much closing on to the back of Spread. Spread really needs to hold on to as high as a position as he possibly can here in order to gain as many points to Hilly. Hilly is definitely going to at the moment finish P15 unless he has a DNF now at this stage. Robbo sat down in P14 right behind the other McLaren. We've got yellow flags. Oh my god, it's Sniper Monkey! Sniper Monkey has gone round at the chicane and he's found himself into the wall. It's a disaster for Sniper Monkey in the final few laps. He's got no front wing and it has gone awfully wrong. And this has allowed Spriggs to have a sniff at a chance of a podium as Spread goes back into P3. Here comes Spriggs with the DRS as they go towards turn 2 now. He is gaining tremendously high speeds. He pulls out last minute, goes through to take P3. Absolute disaster. Kamarov now leads the Grand Prix. 2 more laps to go. This could still end up changing on the very last lap. Sniper Monkey understandably pitting straight away to change that. He might pick up a fastest lap here then at the end. That allows Hilly and Robbo to gain another position. And Francis is going to unlap himself. It's all kicked off once again at the end of a Grand Prix. I swear it happens all the time. Spread has still got one more chance to retake that P3 and he will definitely try it. He's not one to back down from that type of situation. Kamarov's got a pretty good lead then as we are about to start the final lap of this race. It has not been an ideal one for the championship leader. It's not been an ideal one for Robbo Snipes. But it's the dream wheel that Spread needed and he's taken a pretty decent advantage out of it even if he finishes in P4. Here comes Joji, couldn't quite make the move just yet. We're going to switch back as here comes Spread. Very close, but again the braking zone just appears a little bit too soon for him. That's Theo making a move on Corey. We've got a lot of pens down there, so that's all going to switch up, I'd imagine, as we cross the line. We're still on the final lap, and it's still not quite decided. Kamarov is still going to have to hold off for a couple more corners. There's no DRS assistance now, as this is the last lap. And there's not really enough, well, it's like a tiny inch of DRS and that's not really going to make a move. So it's all depending on how well they'd get through the exit as that's deep and off the track for Joji. He picks up a time penalty. This could allow Spriggs, if he can gain across, he's putting that foot down. He's nearly within that penalty window. He went too deep through Acro Minerali. He could end up losing P2 even. Spriggs is burning everything. He's seeing that. He's on the respawn. We've got more yellow flags. That's Corey out. He's gone round at the chicane as well. It's all happened. But Kamarov wins the Imola Grand Prix. Joji in second. Just missing out on that is Spriggs in third. Spread in P4. What a finish to this race. Dystopia jumps all the way up to P5. Shrek up to P6. Then it's Jesus up into P6. There's a lot of penalties going for here. Robbo jumps all the way up to P9. Haley up to 12th. Unbelievable finish here to the Grand Prix. Corey crashes across the line. He DNS, but we knew he actually finished that race. I'm sure the admins will point that out. He definitely finished that race, not DNF. What a finish to this Grand Prix. Joji came very close to win his first race as here, That was a great performance, and he had some great moves, and definitely deserves Driver of the Day. But a huge shout goes to Spread, who did an amazing final stint there. Over 40 laps on them hards. Fair play. And he gains a huge amount of points. The title fight will go down to the very last race. And it will still be between Hilly, Robbo and Spread who will win the first championship. It could literally be anyone's now. This is the closest I've ever seen a title fight go. Fastest lap in the end to Snapper Monkey on a 15.5. What a way to end a Grand Prix then. Kamarov takes the win over Joji, and that Spriggs in third, Spread in P4. Hilly absolutely going to be elated that he managed to secure P12 and not lose too many points. That's a good 9 points he'll gain, but that is a lot of points he's lost to both. Not so much Robbo, as he only got P9, but it's a lot that he's lost to Spread. We'll head into the podium interviews chat, but obviously all the drivers were still in there. Stay tuned, as there may be some valuable information coming up shortly, as I've been told to be make aware of. What a race that was. I'll try and get these guys to hop in. Oh, I can't remember, his name's changed. Right, we wait and see if they'll join us shortly. What a race. What an end. Yeah, 9 points between. Yeah, 14. Take away. Yeah, no, that'll be. Only 9 points between Healy and Robbo.
Hello?
Yes, hello there, Spriggs. We can hear you. We await for Kamarov and Joji to join us. Give him a little nudge. Looks like Joji won't be joining us, so we'll go with that then. Kamarov, it's another race win for you, adding up to the tally. I think it must be already at least 2 or 3 race wins to your name, but you had to definitely work hard through the rest of the grid. You've messaged me. Oh, are we going to have technical difficulties? We might have technical difficulties here. Oh dear. Bear with us one moment. Don't work on a Discord at the moment. Right. We'll try it through the Xbox then, hang on. I could do that. Bear with me. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Spriggs, if you'll be able to join through Xbox as well.
Yeah, I'll try it.
There we go, give that a try. Wait, this always goes very well at the end, doesn't it?
Just
It's just perfect. This is a standard online enjoyable. Okay, hang on one moment. I'm on Do Not Disturb, aren't I? Hang on. Rightio. This is probably one of the worst starts to an interview ever. I don't think it can get much worse than this.
You can't join.
It's how invites work on PC. It is really crap in fairness, so don't blame him.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, Karov, can you hear us? Are you able to stop?
Hello.
There we go. We got it working. Right, so we'll start that again. It's another race win then for you today. Definitely have to work this one much further down the order of the grid than you expected with how close it was in qualifying. Talk us through that one first.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I made a little mistake on my lap, which I could have been a few places higher, but that's kind of where I am in qualifying, I think, to be honest with the AlphaTauri. It's, I've been down there for quite a few races now, and I just accepted that. I don't really mind, it's quite good fun battling through as well. And yeah, just kind of had the first half of the race of getting through to the front, and then safety cars came out, which I thought had fucked me a little bit, but yeah, there was just a lot of people pitted then afterwards, which I think was maybe a little bit too late, and it's just getting through people on much older tyres, and then Sniper spun obviously towards the end, and JG couldn't get past me on the old tyres, so yeah, it was a pretty long one. I think I got 2 warnings in about 5 laps as well, and somehow managed to get a single one for the rest of the race. So
I must say that's well and good there on that one.
yeah,
So,
it was a good race. A bit tired now.
just another question then. Obviously, spread at the end and over 40 laps on them hard tyres. Are you surprised he was able to keep up with that pace for as much as he did?
Yeah, I mean, once you've gone past 20%, the pace is pretty linear. It's just whether or not you get a puncture. I mean, it drops off gradually, but the pace was still pretty strong of him and JG. But I think he got caught up in a little instant. But yeah, I mean, it could have been a podium for him quite easily there, I think, without that.
Thank you very much. And obviously, JG unable to join us. Spriggs, it's a P3 finish, starting much further down the grid order as well. A great performance out there. How was that race from your point of view?
Yeah, it was good actually. I think qualifying was pretty terrible. But I think it was more about just kind of settling in. I think for the first few laps and trying to just stay a bit calmer. There was a lot of scrappiness going on. I think at the start, so it's just trying to like not really be too aggressive. And then after a few laps, when things calm down, then just trying to push and make my way up the grid and try that. But I think I was probably on the wrong strategy. I suppose it was safety car and everything, but at the same time, I probably just picked the wrong one. I think it was better to just be on a bit of a mediums at the end, like Kamarov did. So it was good. It was a good call from him. the softs were good, but then it was just a lot of fighting to just catch back to the front group. I think Spread did a really good job. Even he was fighting me quite a lot at the end, still, to be honest. So that was quite good. But yeah, it was a good race. It was alright.
Absolutely, and well, both you and Cameron are actually very much close together in the standards. I've just noticed. I think,
Mm.
off the top of my head, you will still technically be ahead going into the final round, but it's very close between you two. Who do you think is going to come out on
Cameron.
top?
Yeah, probably. I think I don't know if I'm not 100% sure if I'm even making the next week's one. I don't know. But we'll see.
Fair enough. And speaking of next week, obviously the last race of the week, it will be Abu Dhabi. Myself won't be streaming it, unfortunately, but Kamrov,
Ah,
your opinion?
I wasn't listening. I'm going to go because I've been offered a go on a very expensive simulator, and if I don't go down and talk to the guy now, I'm not going to get it. So goodbye.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
See ya.
oh my, yeah.
Typical racing driver right there.
Yeah, that's fair. No worries. All right, I'll say yeah. I think if I'm there, it should be alright. I think I like that track. To be honest, I like the technical sections of it. It's quite nice, but yeah, we'll see how we go with that one. This was probably a harder track to do than that one, so we'll see. It should be a bit of a calmer one.
Aye, absolutely. No worries. Thank you for joining me. And
No
like I
problem.
say, speaking of next week's race, I won't be there to stream it, unfortunately. It will be, by the looks of things, either down to CFC Owl or Dark Lord. If you are all part of the FPR100 Discord or any of the other Discords like FGR or PRF1, any information about that final week will be posted as and when it becomes available. So stay tuned, keep an eye on the chats for all that. But thank you all for joining me throughout season 1 here. It's been an absolute pleasure, and the best of luck to the rest of our drivers, and especially the top 3 for who takes the title. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.